I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the flex since flex zones. All of your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Yo, squad shady, my bros raw. No breaks, we go, 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 go. Throw shade, that's a no, 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 no. Go high, go low, low, low. Like spinning in the 644.
What's up, YouTube family? How you guys doing today? What a beautiful day to be alive. Hey, the situation is not always good, but God is. Come on, somebody. So today we're going to do a low ball taper with a number 3 on the side, and we're going to go ahead and just cut this bolt down on top, maybe about 2.5 inches in the middle section there, and then we're just going to round it out to the fade area, the parietal ridge area. As most of you guys know, you can use shears to do this, but I just like to use my clippers. I kind of do like a clipper over finger type approach. As we get to this side area, I curve my hand just like this so that I can keep it a little bit longer on top and a little shorter towards the fade area. And then we're going to go ahead and take a number 4 closed, and we're just going to go right into that parietal ridge area, just float it right off the ridge there into the top, combing the hair down to make sure that we get a nice clean cut all the way around. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off slow and kind of show you the technique, and then I'm going to speed up around the head so that way we could just get through this video in adequate time. So in the back, you see I'm dropping it down just a little bit because he has that calic area, and we want to make sure that he has some weight to hold that down, so when he combs it, it looks nice. Once again, we're doing the number 4 closed, just floating it off the head area. Right there in that parietal ridge area, he has a little dip. You'll see that later on in the video in the taper area. Where you'll see these little, shadows. I try to hit it with some blending shear over comb to try to, just blend that in a little bit better. But we do the best that we can. So right now I have a number 3 open, just floating straight up into that number 4 closed. And we'll do this all the way around the head. Remember to constantly comb the hair down whenever you are cutting. That way we just make sure that we're getting the hair laying in the proper direction, so that way when we cut up against it, we get a nice smooth cut and get all the hair. A lot of times in the first pass with, say, the number 4, I'm not worried about getting every little strand of hair, because I know when I come back with that 3.5 or the 3 open and then the 3 closed, I'll clean all that up. So now that we did the 4 closed, the 3 open into the 4 closed, we close that number 3 up, and we just knock out the bulk all the way around the head. And while we're knocking this bulk out, tell me what you guys think about the video quality in the comment section below. As you know, we're trying to take it up another level, so I invested in a new camera, and I decided that I'm going to try to take my edits to a new level as well. All right, so after we clean up the head with that number 3, we're going to set our first initial guideline, and we're going to keep it a little bit lower so that way we can keep this taper low and have the nice C-cup and all that. So I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch and create my second guideline rather, no guard, just open blade. Right now I'm just kind of cleaning up over the ear at a hard angle. Just right there, using the corner of the blade just to knock off those hairs that are hanging over, so we can clean that up. So now what we're going to do is close the blade halfway, dropping a little bit lower than that second guideline, and blend into that, and then we're going to close it all the way to knock out the bald line from the first initial guideline. I'm not going to do the beard today on this client. However, I do not like my clients to leave out with that hard line, so I just kind of taper that in for them, and so that way it just looks cleaner. I do not charge for that. But So now we have a number 1 guard on there fully open, and we create our next guideline. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll just, drop down a little bit lower, and we'll close that number 1 to try to blend that line out. And because the line won't come all the way out between the open blade and the closed one, I come in with a 0 open and 0 close as needed to kind of tap that line out and blend this thing together. As you can see in that one open area, there's some choppy looking dark spots right above where I'm blending right now. We'll hit that with a 1.5, but if you look deep into his hair, you kind of see towards the parietal ridge area above that dark spot that it's kind of jagged, and it's because he has that dip there, and there's some grays and just different kind of texture hair there. So it really makes it challenging, even with the blending shears, to get that to look as smooth as I usually like to make it. However, we do the best that we can, man, and just do whatever we can to make it the best we can, and that's all we can do, right? Some people will think, man, that's a great cut, and we'll have some haters that they're like, Shannon, you're trash, man, you need to just give it up, and but for those that it helps, we're gonna help, and for those that hate, hey, I appreciate your views, man, it helps my channel, thank you so much. But yeah, so on the bottom there, we just would open and close the lever as needed to do some detail work. Now we're going to come in with that 1.5 guard, and we're going to have it fully open at first, blending into that number 3, just kind of flicking out a little bit, trying to blend in. There again, there's that dip right around the parietal ridge area, so I want to keep it going kind of straight. So that way it doesn't dig into that dip area in the parietal ridge area. So then we'll close that 1.5 just to try to knock out some of that line. And because we couldn't get the line out, now I'm coming back in with a number 1 open, and just using the corners, trying to tap at the dark spot so we can blend this thing together a little bit better. And then we'll close it as needed, and just try to lay a good foundation so we can come in a little bit later with some blending shear over comb or shear over comb, and just tap at any little dark spots that I see. Sometimes whenever you switch guards up, it changes the look of the fade or taper at that time, so you just got to keep adjusting and do the best that you can to work that lever to get any kind of dark spots out or lines. So now we're just going to clean up over the ear and get that thing looking good. As you guys know, we like to put the picture in the frame to kind of see what we're working with. Sometimes you need to take your eyes off the blend for a little bit, put it on the lineup, and just that small change in adjusting your eyes can help you see some things that you did not see in the taper before or the fade, and you come back in and hit that up. So now we're just going to go ahead and set that back guideline and just kind of prep the canvas to go ahead and put our first guideline in the back for the taper. All right, so now that we did that, let's go ahead and set that first guideline for the taper. We're going to use the Babyliss trimmers and establish that guideline, clean up underneath there with the shaver. And now, once again, pretty much the same technique. We're going to go up about 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch with the open blade, no guard. And then I'll close it halfway and drop a little bit lower, tapping. And then I'll close it all the way right now and just kind of tap at that bottom line. Now, whenever I have no guards on, usually I have open, halfway open, and closed is what I do with my lever play. Whenever I have a guard on, I usually skip the middle, the middle notch, and I just go, open or close. That's pretty much what I do. So now with the, I believe that's the 0 guard on there, we're going to go ahead and go up another 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And I'm kind of flicking out. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're doing more of a taper kind of blowout effect, right? So I don't want to just take it straight up. I'm just kind of flicking out a little bit. to establish that next guideline. And then there again, once I do that open, I'll close it and come back and tap at that line, trying to blend those two panels together. And if I can't get it, and a lot of times you can't, you have to take the guard off and come back and tap at that line, because whatever you put the line in with, you usually need to, you know, take the line out with as well. So I'll come back and do that a little bit later, but right now I'm going to go ahead and put the number 1 guard on, and same technique. We're going to move up about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch with the open blade and establish the next guideline. Then we'll close it and just tie those panels together. And if you see any dark spots, just keep tapping at them with the corner of your guard, and you know, just try to erase those things. Just kind of rub them out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, go check out my Instagram page. You can find me at S.Craft_blends with a Z. I would love it, you know, if you would check that out. Maybe drop a comment, like, or even follow if you want. That'd be dope. So right now I'm coming in with that 1.5 fully open, and I'm just gonna go ahead and float that 1.5 into the 3. I don't really feel like we need a 2. If you get a good flick on it, you can kind of just blend it right into that number 3. And once we do that, and now I'm going up a little bit higher because I'm making the strokes a little bit longer, kind of flicking out a little bit more, and then I will close that 1.5 and just try to, you know, knock out that line. So because I can't knock out that line with that 1.5 closed all the way, then I'll come back in with that number 1 and just try to tie those panels together. I did notice in this section I'm at right now, that dark spot, I did not fully get it out on that side. I noticed it after watching the video, and that's one of the challenges, guys, when you're recording. You're focused on the camera, you're focused on the angle, trying to stay out of the view of the camera. And you know, sometimes, man, you might miss something. And what I've found on Instagram, or YouTube rather, is people are rough, man. They'll say, hey, what about that spot right there? Oh man, that cut sucked, man. You know, and I could have did way better and all that stuff. And it probably could have done better. But the reality is, man, you know, like, you know, whenever we do YouTube, it ain't easy, guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're constantly recording, then you got to go home and edit and take time away from your family, and you do it because you want to be a blessing, and hopefully one day, you know, your channel will grow and you'll make a little bit of money. Right now, I'm not making nothing hardly, you know, so I'm starting just now to get a little something, but it's definitely nothing as far as the time that I put in. And it's so funny that, you know, we as YouTube barbers, we get on here and we're giving free content to people to help elevate their game. And there's a lot of people that are very appreciative, but some, man, they'll just go for your jugular, man. They're ready to kill you. And you're like, man, I'm doing this for free, man. It might not be perfect, but at least I'm showing a technique, you know, that may help somebody. So if you do get, you know, some value out of this content, let me know, you know, because you know what they say, you know, that you can get 99 positive comments and that one negative. It's like you focus on the one negative instead of the 99 positive. And sometimes you just want to quit, you know, because you're like, hey, I'm not helping people. But I've been really trying to focus on the 99 positive, man, the ones that I'm helping, and just kind of overlook the hate, and just because it does affect you, man. I've talked to different YouTube barbers who you wouldn't think that it bothers, but it really does. And so make sure that if you get any value out of anyone on YouTube, man, just you know, that comment, that like, that does go a long way. So now we basically did the same thing in the back, did some detail work, lined it up, tried to clean that up. And now on this side, we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did on the other side. What you do to one side, you already know, you do to the other. So while I'm doing that, I want to tell you guys that obviously in YouTube videos, we can only show you so much, you know, and we only have so much time to really get into detail. That's why we, move these videos up, like speed them up so quick, and that's why we have to cut out certain things, and we can't really go into deep detail about what we're doing. We can't stop the video and just answer your questions here on YouTube. But guess what? We've created a platform at Tune45Academy.com where we can do that. And every Monday night we have a live where we show a video of a haircut without the voiceover, and we literally let people ask questions, and they can pick the haircut apart. What'd you do here? Why did you do that? How did you do it? And we stop the video and we answer those questions live, and it's amazing. And it's only $20 a month. If you invest $20 a month into yourself, man, I believe that with the guys that we have teaching the classes, Dre Cut It Out, Sean Cuts Hair, Chris Bossio, Get Beam, myself, you're sure to get some value out of it. And I believe that it'll take your skills to the next level, and also your business to the next level. So if you want to sign up for the Netflix of barber academies, go to Tune45Academy.com. Sign up today for $20. And if you're there to register, make sure that you go ahead when it says who'd you hear about it from, click your boy's link. It does help me out so that I can get a little something, to continue doing what I'm doing. It does help any little bit. So right now on the front, I want to just more point cut the front. His hair lays in a certain direction. I want to kind of keep the flow of that. So I'm not just creating a hard straight line. I want to kind of give it that textured, messy look, but I want to keep the shape as the way it's going. So I'm kind of slightly pushing that over and just point cutting the ends, and just keeping that flow. Now we hit them with the straight razor all the way around, and in those areas that I was telling you about, I go around all the way with the blending shear over comb, just on both sides and in the back, to try to give it a better blend, soften those hard lines up. And now I use some indestructible clay and some hairspray on there, gave him a little messy look, and boom, there is the finished product. I hope you guys like it. One thing I can tell you with this new 4K camera, it shows every little detail. My God, maybe I need to go back to 10 to 10, 80, 90, 20, whatever, HD. Anyways, hey, here's a cut. God bless you guys. Until next time, man. Live every day like it's your last, because it just might be. Peace out.
Back, I get the bus. Pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Your old squad shitty, my bros raw. No breaks, we go. Throw shade, that's a no.